Hello there.
I first want to show you this slightly better look at the baby Spinosaurus in Jurassic World Evolution 3. Yesterday's feature focus showed us a sliver of Spino before the hexagons blocked our view. But the aspect ratio of the vertical version has the shapes come in a little differently, allowing us to see more. While still not a great look, we can at least see that the baby Spinosaurus doesn't just have the big baby eyes and the stubbier snout, but also a still developing sail. Hopefully we'll get a proper, less pixelated look soon.
I would like to see the baby.
Baby dinosaurs in Jurassic World Evolution 3. They've been the main focus of the marketing so far. But in spite of all of the baby dinosaur footage and information we've had, one question keeps popping up in my comments. Will the babies grow up seamlessly, or will they grow up suddenly? Frontier has not yet given a straight answer to this question, but we don't have to wait for them to answer it. We already have the information to answer this ourselves and go forward with the right expectations. First though, what's the difference? Seamless growth means the animals morph through several life stages, from infant through the awkward teenage years to full-grown adult. This is the ontogeny system present in prehistoric kingdom. You can watch your dinosaurs grow up realistically and gradually in your parks. Sudden growth is when the animal only has two stages, baby and adult. There is no in between. When the animal is old enough, it suddenly blips from the baby model into the adult model. This is how it happens in Planet Zoo, one of Frontier's other games. And that's our first clue. Jurassic World Evolution 3 is basically Planet Zoo, but with dinosaurs. It's Planet Jurassic. After 2 iterations and watching us build parks for 7 years, Frontier finally realizes we want to build better, and they have the toolbox for that in their Planet series of games. The new terrain tools and modular building is Frontier applying their Planet tools to the dinosaur park builder. In Planet Zoo, baby animals suddenly blip into adults, so it makes sense that that's the strategy that's being carried over into Jurassic World Evolution 3 as well, just like the terrain tools and modular building. But of course, it is possible that they change it up. Even said terrain tools and modular building aren't carbon copies of what we have in Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster 2. And it seems like Planet Zoo's path tool isn't coming over to Jurassic World Evolution 3, so clearly there's differences between the Planet series and the third iteration of the Evolution series. So maybe the growth of the animals will be different as well? That is the question that I keep getting, and I think in large part because most of us really hope that that is going to be the case, so we kind of hold on to that, even though we've already had plenty of evidence to support the opposite. We have 3 points of evidence that suggest babies will grow into adults suddenly. First, we've only ever seen babies of the same species at the same growth stage. While the perspective may play tricks on us, we've never actually seen these infants at different sizes, as you would expect if seamless growth was a thing. We wouldn't just be seeing the babies, we would be seeing teenagers as well. If the game did have seamless growth, that's something Frontier wouldn't be hiding. They would be showing that off, because like I said, most people want that. A shot like this, where we see a Brachiosaurus herd, would have the animals at various noticeably different life stages if that was in the game. But aside from the illusion of size differences that can be explained by forced perspective, we're seeing 2 life stages, adult and infant. And that's all we've ever seen. Again though, perspective can play tricks on us, especially with something that we want so badly. We're gonna be seeing things that we want to see, right? This infamously caused some false hope in Jurassic World Evolution 2 when the Utaranus was revealed with this shot, and some people thought the dinosaurs in the back were smaller and thus babies. Frontier had to come out and confirm that it was just perspective. So we should look at the Ceratopsians instead, to take perspective out of the equation. The Ceratopsians we've seen so far, that being Triceratops and Lokiceratops, would show seamless growth not just in the overall size of the dinosaurs, which again can be deceiving depending on how close or how far away they are, but they would also show growth in the size of the horns. The horns are short and stubby for the infants and long and curved for the adults. If there was seamless growth, like Prehistoric Kingdom, we'd be seeing offspring with horns larger than babies, but shorter than the adults. However, at no point do we see a ceratopsian that has horns somewhere in between. It's always either the short baby horns or the long adult horns. Second point of evidence for sudden growth is the maturity timer that was revealed during the June Frontier Unlocked stream. During the stream, we saw never before seen footage of baby T-Rexes emerging from the nest, and then when they opened the dinosaur UI, we could see a timer counting down to when the dinosaur matures. There would be no need for such a timer if we already had the visual feedback in seamless growth. If seamless growth was in the game, we'd see the animal resemble its parents more and more until it looks indistinguishable from an adult, at which point we would know, oh, they've reached maturity. Only in a growth system without that visual cue do we need a timer to represent the growth of the animal as it goes from baby to maturity, to let us distinguish between hatchlings and the ones close to maturing. Third, IGN said the following in their video.
There will be more than 240 distinct dino and prehistoric reptile models in total.
They mention more than 240 distinct models, knowing we have 82 species in the game at launch, with sexual dimorphism for each, and 75 species are able to breed and thus will have babies. This is the equation that we're looking at. 82 males plus 82 females plus 75 babies is 239 models. Granted, that is one less than 240 models, and they said more, but their video makes no mention of the fact that only 75 species can breed, so they probably neglected to take that into account. So they did 82 times 3, which means 246 models. To make seamless growth happen is a bit more complex than just having a baby model and an adult model and morph from one into another. There are several stages in between that you need to morph through if you want that realistic and truly seamless growth. With only 240 models, again including the sexual dimorphism, that isn't enough. While seamless growth is the holy grail, and I think we'd all agree that that's the ideal, I don't personally mind the sudden growth too much, especially since we already get that seamless growth experience in Prehistoric Kingdom. So it's not the worst to me that Jurassic World Evolution 3 will be different, at least. For starters, it means you can enjoy the cuteness of the babies longer, because they will look like their youngest version for their entire growth period, rather than morphing into teen and young adults. And it reminds me of playing the Isle Legacy and the Isle of Rima. The latter has seamless growth, which means you don't even notice your dinosaur is growing up because it happens so gradually. In Legacy, the growth is sudden, and while unrealistic, it did give you that moment of feeling accomplished. It highlighted the switch from young to adult, and there's something to be said for that. Of course, most people prefer seamless growth, and I've seen some people express hope that, if not in the game at launch, that they will add it down the line in an update or something. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening. For this video, I looked into how it works for Planet Zoo, and I found a forum where someone was wishing for them to add different growth stages to Planet Zoo, and the Frontier community manager at the time responded to that forum post with the following. Adding in more stages of growth means the team will need to create more skeletons/rigs, meaning more animations, animal models, audio, and more. It's simply not viable for us to do this post-launch, not just because of the cost and time it would take, but also for technical reasons and the effect it would have on players' games. Even though several years have passed since that answer, and now I think the underlying limitations here wouldn't have changed. It's too big of a thing to change down the line. Too much goes into it. If you want to have ontogeny, you really need to do it from the get-go. And that, as I said, just really doesn't seem to be the case here. All evidence supports the contrary. It is important that I stress, as I said at the start of this video, that Frontier has not come out and literally said baby dinosaurs will grow up suddenly. However, I hope that with the information shared in this video, I've made it clear why the safe assumption is that seamless growth is not in the game, and that's where we should set our expectations. My previous news video for Jurassic World Evolution 3, I'm not proud of. I missed two things. I didn't see the baby Spinosaurus, and I didn't see the nest at the bottom, which is what stops water from generating here. So my apologies to you guys for missing this stuff, and my apologies to Frontier for being like, why doesn't the water appear here? Them showing this little of the baby Spino is still a hate crime though. But Frontier is always kind enough to send us footage early so we can really sink our teeth into it, and I've done them, and again you guys, a disservice for missing these two things. Because the whole point of these longer analysis videos is so we don't miss anything. So I gotta not miss anything. Thank you to the eagle-eyed people in the comments though for spotting these things. With a bit of community teamwork, we got there. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, stay tuned for more.